I know, you haven't heard much negative news on the real estate front, but today I'm going to go over one reason, or actually several reasons, why we may see a slight downturn in home prices next. Yes, I know I'm the optimist, but I'm really not. I just want to give you the absolute plain truth. I'm not here because I'm being sold or bought or whatever about the market itself. What I see, what I do is what is happening out there. So when we go to other channels, you're not talking about real estate agents with their licenses out there showing buyers, putting listings up on the market and selling those listings. I am boots on the ground, and that's why I want to give you what I see out there versus someone that's sitting in the catbird seat saying, oh, well, down there, these numbers, I can just spin them the way I want. I'm not doing that. I see what's happening. So what we want to go over it. So first of all, my name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before we jump into all of that, do me a favor, hit that like button. And again, comment below. If you want to go and say, hey, Troy, you're full of FOS, that's fine as well. But give me an argument. Just don't call me names. Doesn't make any sense. I will ignore those names. All right, let's jump to the very first article here, and it is from CNBC. Now, I've always told you in the past, when Diana Olick shows up, it's always negative news, and there she is. There's my girl. It's going to be negative news. And so it says home prices may be turning lower. It says Annie Walden, Vice President of Enterprise Research Black Knight, and that's who we use to show interest rates every single day, says, and CNBC's Diana Olick joined the exchange to discuss why home prices may be on the verge of cooling off, the state of housing market, and more. Well, I am the state of housing market, and I'm wondering if, Andy Walden or Diana Olick, when's the last time do they even own a license, first of all? If they don't own a license, let me ask you the next part. You haven't shown a house, you haven't done anything, you're not boots to the ground, you're not listening to buyers. You're nowhere except just throwing out analysis of your agenda. I say this once, I say it 100 times, but this is the narrative that you're going to hear from the media out there. You've been hearing it now for a year and a half, but it really hasn't happened. Now they're really they're going after the charge, and they have some good reasons out there. And here's one of the reasons I'm going to go over. This is from the Kobesi letter, and I've told you, get on Twitter, get on X. You got to have a follow on this. The amounting information on there is fantastic. So this is about personal savings, and this is very interesting right here. This graph, it says personal savings in the U.S. peaked at $2.1 trillion during the pandemic and have fallen sharply since. So we're looking at this, right? March of 2020. That's when the bird flu, the beer flu began. And what did they do during that time? Well, stimmies. It first was with the Trump administration, and then the big stimmy came when the Biden administration came in, because that's how you buy votes, right? You promise everyone $2,400, and that's the second stimmy after literally the beer flu was over, and we're giving. So this is all the stimulus brought in, and then when we get back, and all of a sudden, stimulus is over, it drops down to normal. But if you look at it, what happened here was, inflation was transitory to inflation is a problem. And that's where personal savings just took a dive. And that's where it's been in the toilet for the last 18 months, just sitting in the toilet. And it really scares me as a human being and an American, is that there's so many people out there hurting. And I'll say this much, typically you'll find the cracks in the economy through real estate. It'll have foreclosures, but we're not seeing any foreclosures. Now, that could be one of two fronts. One is that the people that are having major problems are renters, and that absolutely could be the problem. But also, it could be that the government doesn't want to foreclose on people because they want votes, and that's why. So we don't know, but I just don't hear a whole lot of people that are hurting out there saying, hey, I need to sell my house because I lost my job or this. I'm not hearing it. People that I just closed 2 listings in the last 30 days. I have another listing closing this week. If I go over it, let's go over those. And I have another listing I'm just about ready to have. Well, one of them wanted, actually two of those three immediately wanted to move up. So they sold their home, and one sold it in Lakewood and then moved to Corona, closer to their family. Another one is solding in Eastvale and moving to a bigger property in Rupa Valley. So it was a buy and sell situation. There was no distress at all. The other one that I sold was a gentleman who had moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and decided, hey, I just want to sell my house. I'm just done with California. That's a third person. So none of those were distressed sales. The one I have coming up, it was a distressed sale. I think that she overextended herself significantly after someone, her husband died, and she took on a lot of debt, from grandkids and whatever. But either way, I think that's one of my more distressed sales. She still can live there, but it's just a distressed sale that has come up on this. So with that being said, I don't see REO or bank-owned foreclosures. They're just not on the horizon. And when I do my numbers on a weekly basis, they're not moving. Last week, there were 150 total active foreclosures in Southern California, of which 75 to 80% were all, flippers that just got stuck, or some extraordinary issue happened where they couldn't finish a project, or they're at the $15 million or $8 million price points where it just became out of control, people pulling money out of property, whatever. That's what I see out there. But this scares me when debt levels are going to soar, and that just brings it right down in the toilet. Guys, I know a lot of you have 401ks. I have been and this is not financial advice, saying that you need to take control of your destiny, because the guy that's taking the 3 martini lunch that is managing your portfolios out there, you need to make sure that they, if they don't get paid, if you don't make money, they don't get paid, then that's one thing. But if they get paid, whether the market goes up or down, those are the guys that you want to pull your money from, and then figure out what you want to do with it. There's a lot of self-directed IRAs out there that I would definitely recommend. All right, let's jump into it. Next issue, September mortgage rates forecast. This is Fannie and Freddie have talked about this. Not yet at the top. So they're saying they're going to be even further up, closing on 7.5%, maybe even 8%, guys. Wow. This is another reason why I feel there could be a slight downturn. Now, when you're saying, Troy, you're just saying a slight downturn. You're not saying a 20% market crash. Well, because I think the Fed will absolutely have to stop what they're doing and reverse gears and then start lowering the rates. And once they do that, the euphoria comes back in, and all of a sudden the housing market explodes back up. Because there's been several different articles, and if I go back to the Cabesi letter, they talk about 5% being the sweet spot, where at 5% you have sellers selling and then buying other homes, but you have enough buyers coming in the market that are here that will buy up any of the properties. If we go any lower, then we're talking about another housing boom, and that's not good at this point. We just can't have these crazy prices going through the sky. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. All right, next one, pending home. This is from Housing Wire. Pending home sales rose 0.9%, less than 1%. Big nothing burger. Actually, it rose less than a year ago. So it's just a nothing burger. As I said, we're at all-time highs on properties. Anything that's less than 1% of the United States, pending went up. If it went down 0.9%, it would be nothing either. It's just flat. The amount of pendings are at close to all-time lows, and we're just not going anywhere. All right, let's jump into interest rates. Well, my Lord, 30-year conventional didn't move, 7.07. I was hoping that we saw a big drop and got under 7, but we didn't. But we did see FHA, so this made me happy. FHA went down a little, one basis point, almost nothing. But it's at 6.94. We'll take it. We just want to see these go down. And I know that a lot of people thought they were going to go down. But again, it was Jerome Powell manipulating the market, saying he sees another interest rate hike in the future. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's almost as if he and Washington, D.C. is purposely hurting us to set us up for something bigger in the future. Think about those conspiracy theories. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today. 3-day holiday coming up. Have a safe Labor Day, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Take care. Peace.